Hey friends, it is your creative, weird, interesting makeup artist friend, Cat Sketch, to bring you another video. We're gonna do a chit chat, get ready with me, doing a Valentine's Day look. I hope you're not sick of red makeup looks, but today we're gonna make it extra special. So subscribe for more videos like this. We do 2 videos a week, every Monday and Friday here on this channel, while talking about creepy, interesting stories, while doing makeup, body paintings, beauty makeups, makeup effects. I've been in the makeup effects and movie industry for 8 years now, so it's about to get really creative and cool, so hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for some more. So like I said, we're gonna make this video super interesting today because we're gonna spill some tea. I'm gonna talk about the exes. Well, I wasn't even like seriously in a relationship, but all the guys I dated in the past and like the awkward bad dates I've had, I asked Corey if it's okay for me to film this. I know, men don't run my life, but I just think it's respectful for me if I'm gonna put all of my dirty laundry out there for me to ask him in the first place. Maybe that's just me, but let's get started. And I'm gonna use fake names for them because there are some YouTubers on here, so I've been on YouTube way too long. The first guy I dated, see, I didn't really date until after high school when I went to college. When I went to college, it was a free-for-all. I was one of those people that like just had fun with dating, and there was this guy I dated. He was way too young for me. I think he was 17, oh my gosh, and I was definitely 19, I think. I know I wasn't old enough to drink. Don't worry, nothing happened. But you know those guys who like love you so much and you didn't realize that they were in love with you and you weren't? Is this a friend zone story? But I'm gonna call this guy Wayne. Wayne is not his name, but for this case, we're gonna call him Wayne. It's so crazy because there was this YouTuber rap artist that I was obsessed with, and this guy turned out to be his cousin unless he just made up this story to make me interested in him. But I don't think he was that thought out. Not saying he wasn't smart, but it was so crazy because I think I met him online on a chat room thing that was like, I want to say Justin TV or something. That's how long ago that is. I don't even think that exists anymore. And it just so happened that he was in my same neighborhood, even though we met online, where I was like talking with people all across the world. And I would have to drive because he was so freaking young. That should have been the first sign that we should not be going out together. Nothing happened. We just went on like teenage mall dates, and it was just awkward because you know those guys that go in for kisses like too much, and I was just not into it, and they text you like a lot. Like, I'm not even talking about like, you know, everyday cute text, good morning, good night, how is your day. I'm talking about a few times every hour of the day. It was too much. It was overbearing. He was super young, so I don't think he understood. But it's so crazy because he was so like good at school, and him and his whole family were so successful. He was half black and half Dominican. He didn't think he was like attractive enough for me. What does that even mean? I'm so glad this foundation is working today, by the way, because I was using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer and my face hates this stuff. It makes my foundation separate, and now my foundation is so happy on my skin just using eye cream and moisturizer. Oh, before I even put on, this feels like a primer, but it's not. This is the Mineral Cream UVB sunscreen in SPF 50 by MD Solar Sciences. I was gifted this, and it feels amazing because I'm about to go on real date night. I say real date night because it's with my boyfriend after I talk about the shade of all my past bad dates. But yeah, this is amazing. But with Wayne, it just was not working out. It was just both of us were too young, especially him. I hate to say it. I should have put color corrector on. Oh well. And it was just not gonna work out for us. It was just so weird too. I was a freshman in college, hanging out with my other college friends, and he would get jealous of me hanging out with my college friends and just text me even more nonstop when I was like hanging out with my college friends. I wasn't even dating any of these people. They were literally like went to my classes with me and hung out with me, and that was it, and he would get jealous. It was just a bad situation. That was like one of my first dating experiences in college. There was also this guy I don't even remember his name. That's so bad at it, how it is. But he like was a skater boy who was in the same business as his family. And he just always wanted to take me out to eat. And he was so nice and I always said yes. And like I helped him study because I felt so bad that he always took me out to eat. And I had no feelings for him and I didn't even realize we were on a date until I was on the date and we were at like TGI Fridays, Applebee's. Such a college date experience, you know what I mean? Like being afraid of getting bubble guts at Chili's from their queso and you don't even realize you're on the date. I was probably burping in front of this man. I think he was a year older than me, but I just had no feelings whatsoever. Like if me and him were walking same height, not that that makes a difference, down the street, people might have mistook us for brother, sister. It was just awkward. Like I literally have no self-confidence of myself at this time and era, but it did feel like he loved walking with me around the college campus, almost like I was his show pony pet, and would smile at everyone and not really like look into my eyes and have a deep conversation with me. He acted like he was interested in what I said, but he just wanted me to be like such his girlfriend figure in college that it felt awkward. You know what I mean? Do I sound crazy? He like wanted me to meet his family and stuff. I'm like, dude, we literally have one class together. I was thinking in my head and like, I don't think this is going to work out. But let's talk about my first on again, off again boyfriend who was a YouTuber, and I'm pretty sure he filmed our date, but I don't think it's on YouTube anymore. And we went to the Renaissance Fair together, and you know those guys who are too old for you and they're way into stuff that you're not into? That was this guy, and I'm gonna call him Ned. His name's not Ned, of course, and Ned was like so adorable. I think that's what got me. We had the same interests because we were YouTubers. I actually met him through another YouTube friend at the time, and I'm like, oh, if this friend is friends with him, he must be cool, and he's adorable. The problem is that when I first met him, he didn't have a car and he lived an hour and a half, 2 hours from me. But you know, LA Hollywood is so large. I lived in Long Beach at the time, so even for me to drive to Hollywood, it was around that same time. So I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna be a big deal. But whenever we go on dates, it was so lame. Like, it wasn't 50-50 or like him really initiating into the date. He was always asking me what I wanted to do. But we had such a fun date this one time. We like went on those star tours in Hollywood, and I have equal like good and bad date memories with him. But me and Ned went on the star tour dates where you go, if you ever go to Hollywood and you're into tours and stuff, I love these like cheap van tours where they have a guy in a van that you ride on and they show you where all the celebrities currently live there. They show you the Hocus Pocus house, and it's just so much fun. And he was so cuddly, but like he didn't want to show too much public affection, and we had so much fun just like going around Hollywood together. And I would eat Indian food for him, even though Indian food always gave me an upset stomach. I remember one time he got upset because this guy dressed up as Elmo. If you've ever been to Hollywood, there's like a guy dressed up as Michael Jackson, the Spider-Man, Elmo, and the Elmo guy was so creepy on Hollywood Boulevard that he like, it was nice because he was actually defending me because this guy was like trying to touch my butt and stuff, the Elmo guy. And at that time there was a really cool Simpsons contest. Before we get into it, I'm gonna use the new OFRA Duo Bronzer Compact Blushes because they're so pretty, and OFRA is one of my absolute favorite brands. But yeah, they're having a contest of, oh, this is so pretty. If you could watch the whole Simpsons from season 1, episode 1, all the way through without sleeping, they provided the food, the bathrooms, the leather recliners and everything. You could win like up to $10,000, I think it was. And we were just admiring how much we would love to do that. And like gradually, Ned would like get some successful gains. he rented a room from someone and not actually like a full apartment, which should be a red flag for me because I had to drive everywhere till he finally got his own car. I was like sneakily dating him fairly frequently, like I want to say for 2 years, and then we were off and then we try to get back on. And I would hide him from this is when I still lived with my parents at the beginning of my YouTube career. And my parents were finding out I was dating someone behind their back. If you live in an Asian household, you will understand this. They weren't happy about it, especially because of Ned's nationality. My parents are just like, which is so crazy because my parents are a mixed race couple, but that's how hypocritical parents are sometimes. So they like would make me cry when they found out that I was dating him. They would like talk me down, like to not date him till I cried. It was terrible, terrible. But I just have good fond memories with him and bad. Like once he got more successful, this is like the YouTuber dating game, man. Not all of them are like this. I'm sure when you date YouTubers, I shouldn't even put the YouTube title because it's not like I date accountants and one accountant's like this and that's just how dating accountants is. No, but like once he got more successful, got a car and stuff, was making more money, he would take me on these more extravagant dates in Hollywood. But I wasn't drinking at the time. I was really like what they would call straight edge, I guess. And he knew this. When we first dated on our first date to the Renaissance Fair, he just went for free drinks, I found out. Not even to like meet me or like, he just made it seem like he wasn't there to meet me just to get free drinks and food. Anyways, so when we were on our dates together, it should have been a red flag. I was so young and naive. I think I was like 21 to 23 that like when I was with him, we were like holding hands on this date, walking. He would look at people in the bars drinking and like almost longing like I wish I was there instead of with me. And that's when I knew, that's when we had the break. I still can't watch Dexter to this day without thinking about him because we would have like watch parties where we would text each other while watching the same Dexter episodes, which was sweet. So again, it's like on again, off again BS. I get so sick of it. That's probably why we stopped seeing each other. It was always mutual too. He would tell me about his past relationships almost like to get me jealous. And then I haven't dated many thin guys. I'm really into like not super skinny guys, but I shouldn't say that and put my type out there because honestly, it's the person now that I'm attracted to. But Ned was like chunky. And when we stopped seeing each other finally after we saw each other, took a break, then saw each other again, and then stopped altogether, he got thin, ripped, and hot. Stereotypical hot. And there was another YouTuber that I was dating and the same thing freaking happened. I felt like at that time I was like cursed, like these guys just date me and treat me weird and then put me on all these dates, all these red flags and signs, or it's always like mutual and weird and I don't know where it went. But yes, once I stopped dating Ned, the YouTuber, I decided to go on a few dates with this guy. We're gonna call him Aiden. He was like so successful in my eyes because he was super young. What's with me and these young guys? And already like had such a super successful multiple websites that I think brands, they were all buying out his websites and he was getting screwed over honestly because he was too young. But he was still successful and we would go on a couple dates. This was right before I moved out of my parents' house and I'm using the Colourpop these things, the new Valentine's Day collection. But I was so weird, like my parents, when I grew up, they didn't show affection. We didn't talk about our relationships with them. It would like almost freak them out. And we kept our relationships from our parents a secret until we were actually serious about a boyfriend or girlfriend and then introduced them to my parents, which was hard. And I'm sure that freaked Corey out because he was the only boyfriend I introduced to my parents because he was the only one I cared about, that I was serious with. The other ones, these guys I just went on dates with, I didn't tell my parents and I didn't even tell my friends. That's how like weird relationships and with friends and boyfriend. I didn't even know how to intermix those. I never wanted to like introduce my friends to boyfriends either unless I was serious. So this is super dangerous of me because even when I lived on my own, I didn't tell my friends, hey, I'm gonna go on a date tonight, or hey, I'm talking to this dude, which could have ended so bad. You should be open, like talking openly about your relationships to your friend, like closest friends, because what if you go on a date and you never come back? You know, now that I listen to way too many horror narration podcasts, I know that now. Back then I was just so not bright. I'm getting a lighter pink to blend into my crease. Maybe it was because my parents made me fear them a lot that I just did not want to share much information with them that I didn't have to about dating and with my friends, which is just not smart of me. But honestly, while telling these dating stories, my timeline is so off because I did so much in college. I was running a YouTube channel. I was going to college full-time. I was working full-time. My first job was at Bath and Body Works, like official job. I like, you know, did all the basic pet sitting, babysitting. I did people's lawns, water their yards, and like pull the weeds, all that stuff since I was 12 years old, you know. But my first official job was in retail at Bath and Body Works. I'm gonna be opening these all glitter things from e.l.f. because I love them and they're so affordable and so underrated. I'm using the lightest shade in Disco Queen in the inner corner. But since Bath and Body Works was my first job, I didn't think ahead enough to be like, oh, I should wait till I have another job to quit. And I was so mad that they made me, you know, spend my birthday there even though I asked for the day off, which is so petty. And like they would have me be there on school nights till almost 3 in the morning because I was hired as the display manager, meaning like, not a manager, but I would do all the holiday displays. I would do all of their stock. I would sell all the holiday products and just do main floor sales as well. And honestly, I loved the free stuff that you get while doing it. It was a difficult job. It was so weird. We had to like watch videos on how to moisturize hands and stuff. Anyways, but I was so not bright, I decided to quit that because I was so upset over little petty stuff like that. Even though I had a car payment and stuff, I was out of a job for almost 2 years before I found my next job, which has nothing to do with retail, which is crazy, but they liked my retail experience. I was a paralegal legal assistant while going to school, while doing YouTube, and it was insane. I thought whatever thing I had with Bath and Body Works, this job was so much more stressful and terrible. Like I had to be on the phone with people losing their homes while they were crying, dealing with their legal paperwork. But I learned a lot, and there was one person there I got along with. I'm gonna say her name's Kirsten. We still follow each other on Facebook and everything. But she was like, this is before weed was legal. They were into it so much so it was like their whole personality trait, and almost every day they spent with their best friend getting high. And like I didn't know that about her till I hung out with her and her best friend, and they were all like trust fund babies. Nothing wrong with trust fund babies, but they lived in these extravagant huge houses and just trashed them and had these crazy parties that she would invite me to. And I am such a non-party person, I didn't know, and I would bring cupcakes to their Christmas party and feel weird because everyone would laugh because they thought it was fun cupcakes, if you know what I mean. But no, they're just regular cupcakes. I would have actually baked them myself if I had the time and I wasn't working so many hours. And I met this guy there who really wanted to date me, and it was almost like we were on an awkward date at these parties. Let me just tell you, this guy was so, like, I like weird, I like different, but not crazy. Like legitimately makes me uncomfortable. Okay, we were at his friend's house. He had no shoes on. And I'm like, oh, that's quirky. I'm from a Japanese household. Like sometimes they don't wear shoes in the house. I'm like, cool. But then he proceeds to tell me that he never wears shoes, ever. Like he won't even go to establishment if they require shoes because he never wears shoes. It's too much like of people telling him what to do. He just never wears them. I don't even remember his name. I do remember his best friend's name who's trying to be friends with me and trying to hook us up, and her name was, oh, I don't want to say it. but like there was a body part in her name, but her name sounded normal, like Tiffany. Okay, let's call her Tiffany. So if Tiffany was Tiffknee, that's how this girl's name was spelt, but it wasn't Tiffany. And like all these people had jobs, but their jobs didn't seem real, if that makes any sense at all. Like the guy who was like, he was blonde, shorter, had surfer hair. He was like, you could tell he could be super romantic. He wouldn't be able to focus too long, and he told me his job was working for Fender, like the actual guitar company. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's cool. I knew what Fender was. My dad plays guitar. And he's like, yeah, I'm the guy that tests out the products before they're shipped out, tune them and make sure that they work correctly, and I get to just play with guitars in like before they're sent out. And I'm picturing myself, if this guy does not wear shoes anywhere, how was he able to be hired by Fender? And literally all these people are trust fund kids, so I'm like, in these huge house in like Whittier, expensive, I know Whittier doesn't sound expensive, but they were in rich neighborhoods in these huge houses that their family gave them. And if he worked for such a upstanding company, why would they let him work there without shoes? I feel like that's dangerous, against some sort of safety law. So weird, so weird. Like it almost felt like a fever dream. And the girl, Tiffany, Tiffknee, she told me she made jewelry out of trash in her parents' garage, because I told her I was an artist, and she said that was her job, which, I mean, that might be legit, because if I tell people I film these videos in my bedroom as my job, they are gonna think I'm freaking nuts or like spicy, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna do this off camera because my eyelids keep twitching from so much coffee, and I can't. I'm gonna do my eyes in like drippy liners and stuff and lashes off camera, and I'll be back. And we're back with lashes and a red lip and drippiness. I just had to do it all. We're running out of, thank goodness, terrible date stories. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video of all of my bad dating stories. I hope it wasn't as awkward for you to listen as it was for me to experience and retell. Honestly, I had to do a Valentine's Day look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I wanted to do, you know me, I want to do something cute but a little bit whimsy and sad. And I'll put all the products I use in this video down in the description box below. I had so much fun doing this. Subscribe for more videos like this. We do 2 videos a week every Monday and Friday here on this channel. Hit the notification bell for some more. And I'll see you guys in the next video, creators. Bye!